I'm back with Tucker Watkins, CFP. Tucker, how does a Texas teacher actually figure out what their TRS pension is going to pay them?
Yes, thank you for the question because it is complicated. So the TRS system has actually six different tiers, and each tier has different qualifications for it. So there's no simple answer. So I think the only way I can really do it is to show everybody that I actually have a copy of the TRS handbook in front of me. And I'm just going to walk through all six of the tiers. But then I should say this, that as complicated as it is, once we get together on the phone, I'll walk you through how it works for you individually, and take away some of the confusion and add a voice of clarity. I believe in complete transparency. As an educator, I like to provide education to the educators, because this is what I've been passionate about. I love my teachers, and teachers have been so important in my life. I wouldn't be where I am today without the love and care of wonderful teachers. So, to answer the question about how to determine what tier you're in, let me just walk through it. So, all I would ask you to do is listen and maybe take a paper and a pencil out and scribble down some notes, because one of these six is where you will fall. So in tier one, your membership would fall under tier one if you meet the 2005 eligibility requirements to be grandfathered and your membership began prior to September 1st of 2007. So write that down, September 1st of 2007. You have to have at least 5 years of TRS service credit as of 2014. Obviously, you have to still be employed under the TRS system. And you have to have age 65 with at least 5 years of service credit, or you meet what we call the rule of 80. As I mentioned in the last video, the rule of 80 is absolutely critical to understand what it is. It's the combination of two numbers, your age and your years of service. If you add those two together, as long as you're above 80, then you qualify for what's called the rule of 80. So that is tier one. Tier number two, the most important date is that you have to start prior to September 1st of 2007, but you did not meet the 2005 eligibility requirements to be grandfathered. You've had at least 5 years of credited service prior to 2014. You're currently under the system, and you do meet the age of the rule of age 80, the rule of 80 rather, which is the sum of your age plus years of service. Tier three is your current TRS membership began on or after September 1st of 2007, but prior to September 1st of 2014. You did not meet the 2005 eligibility requirements to be grandfathered. You've got at least 5 years of service, and you're currently under the TRS membership. And you are age 65 with at least 5 years of service, or you're at least age 60 and you meet the rule of 80, which means, again, your age plus years of service are 80 or above. Moving on then to tier number four. Tier number four is that you do meet the 2005 eligibility requirements to be grandfathered. Your current TRS membership began after September 1st of 2007, but prior to September 1st of 2014. You have at least 5 years of service credit, and you maintain membership in TRS until retirement. To be eligible for normal age service requirement, you must either be age 65 with at least 5 years of service credit, or you're at least age 60 and you meet the rule of 80, meaning, again, your age and years of service exceed the number 80. Moving on to tier five. Tier five is if you did not meet the 2005 eligibility requirements to be grandfathered and any of the following rules apply. You did not have 5 years of accredited service. Your current membership in TRS began on or after September 1st, 2014, or you had at least 5 years of service credit prior to August 31st of 2014, but you terminated your membership in TRS by withdrawing your accumulated contributions and resumed membership in TRS again after August 31st of 2014. So you can see that this stuff gets complicated. But again, to be eligible for normal age service requirement, you must meet one of the following conditions. age 65 with at least 5 years of service credit, or you're at least age 62 and you meet the rule of 80, which again means your age and years of service are higher than the number 80. And lastly, tier number six. Tier number six is where you do meet the 2005 eligibility requirements to be grandfathered, and any of the following apply. You did not have at least 5 years of service credit on August 31st of 2014. Your current membership in TRS began on or after September 1st of 2014, or you had at least 5 years of service credit on August 31st of 2014, but you terminated your membership in TRS by withdrawing your accumulated contributions and resume membership in TRS after August 31st of 2014. And again, for normal age retirement eligibility, to be eligible for normal age service retirement, you must meet one of the following conditions. You're either age 65 with 5 years of service credit, or you're at least 62 and you meet the rule of 80, which you know by now means your age plus years of service credit total at least 80. So I'm out of breath. Those are the 6 tiers, and just call me. We'll walk you through it one-on-one. Here's the good news. The good news is once we determine what your tier is, then we can walk you through the formula to determine what your pension would be.
When a teacher knows their tier, how do they actually calculate that pension number?
Sure. So each tier has its own set of formulas, but there is a consistent pattern to them. So I'm going to use an illustration from a tier 1 person. So in a tier 1, let's say that typically people get started in TRS after college, or somewhere around age 23 to 25. So I'm going to say that this person started teaching at age 25 in 1986. After 40 years of service, she or he would be 65 years of age. So that person then would qualify for the rule of 80, which means that the years of service, which would then be 40 years of service, plus her age, which is 65. So 40 plus 65 obviously is over number 80. So the rule of 80 is met. And then if we assume that the income was for the 3 highest years, averaging at least averaging 65,000 hours a year, then we would take this. Here's how it works. The total percent would be the total years of service times 2.3%. So if we take 40 years of service times 2.3%, we get 0.92. Then the annual annuity is that percent, which is 0.92, times the $65,000 figure. So 0.92 times 65,000 is 59,800. So what does that all mean? One is it's a secure thing. It's going to be there. However, it is less than the normal income was. So people get a pay cut when they retire. And remember too, the pension will be taxable. So you're going to get a pay cut and the income will still be taxable just like your regular salary is now.
So Tucker, when a teacher runs these numbers and that monthly pension is smaller than they expected, what can you tell them?
Yeah. So there are 2 ways that we can bridge the gap. Maybe 3. You could just work longer and not retire so early, because there's also a concern about Medicare coverage. And if a person continues working till age 65, where they'd be covered under full Medicare, their premiums are lower than if they retire before that. There's something known as TRS care, which is medical insurance provided to the employee covered under TRS, but it is more expensive than Medicare. So one of the ways that you could bridge the gap, I know this sounds super simple, but it is true. You just simply work longer. So if you work longer, a couple of things happen. One is your years of service are higher, which means that your pension is larger. Also, a possibility for raises along the way. So if you get more years of service and opportunities for raises, then again, your pension would be higher. And if you can make it to age 65 to where Medicare is available to you, those premiums are lower than TRS care. So that's one way to bridge the gap, because one of the gaps is the cost of medical insurance at retirement. So that's a real gap. The other gap that we mentioned earlier is that there is inflation. Inflation is a silent thief that robs us all of purchasing power. So we may need to build up either a higher pension, as I just mentioned, or in the previous video, we talked about the importance of maybe putting money into the 403B, which is a pre-tax payroll deduction savings account I would recommend using something known as a fixed index annuity, where you get the upside connected to the performance of the S&P 500 with no downside. Also, if the person is medically able to qualify, they could get life insurance, and then we could do either whole life insurance or index universal life insurance. Why would we do that? Well, the reason that we would do that is that if you're in a marriage situation or a spouse situation where you have a risk of passing away and leaving somebody not well protected, in the TRS system, you could check a box for what's called joint annuity. What that means is that your surviving spouse, your beneficiary, would get a payout. However, it will be lower than the full payout would be. So a life insurance policy on the TRS covered employee would provide tax-free death benefit, because all life insurance payouts are tax-free to the surviving spouse, which allows then for the retiree to check the box for a full annuity payout. That's what's called pension maximization. So there's three ways to bridge the gap. One is to work longer to give you a higher pension. The other is to contribute money on a pre-tax basis for the 403(b). The third is to consider life insurance to bridge the gaps, to protect the loved ones. So if you're gone, then they get the tax-free payoff from the life insurance, and you could still opt to choose the full pension payout for you. So those are three ways to bridge the gap.
Now you have a better idea of what your pension could look like and what it might not cover. Now, in the next video, Tucker is going to show you what a complete protected retirement actually looks like for a Texas teacher. So stay right here in the playlist. And if you're ready to talk to Tucker right now, go ahead and click the link below for a free 30-minute call at tuckerwatkins.net.